Welcome to the Lose Weight, Live Life podcast. If you're someone who would do anything to lose weight, yet finds it impossible to stick to a diet, to eat less, or just what you think you should, this podcast is for you. I am your host, certified life and weight mindset coach, Clair MACKENZIE. Listen in to learn how to stop overeating, lose weight for the last time, and create a relationship with food and yourself that you love, all without diet deprivation and self-sabotage. Hi everyone, and a very warm welcome to the Lose Weight, Live Life podcast, episode number 126, Future You. In the Lose Weight, Live Life Academy and other Lose Weight, Live Life programs, one of the practices I encourage you to do is to help you use the wisdom of your future self as a part of your weight loss journey. Most of us look to our past experiences and lessons learned to help us move forward with doing the things that we think will create the weight loss results that we want. And whilst that's incredibly useful to help us with the tactics of weight loss, when paired with future self-wisdom can be massively helpful on a thinking and feeling level. Future self-thinking can help us get out of our own way and feel into the bigger picture. So what do I mean by that? Using the wisdom of our future selves involves tapping into our future experiences and knowledge to gain insights and make better decisions, because we're thinking and feeling from the place of having already achieved what it is that we're wanting. For example, when you imagine or visualize yourself having lost your weight and comfortably managing it and feeling physically and emotionally better because you've lost your weight and you're confident in your relationship with food, what would you be thinking, feeling, doing and not doing? And let's sort of take a specific example where maybe you're attending a big family party with lots of food on offer all day. Maybe it's like what I might call a beige buffet. So a buffet with lots of like bread and sandwiches and sausage rolls and all of those foods that probably aren't foods that we typically think of eating when we're wanting to lose weight. Okay, so if you imagine showing up at that event as future you, you might imagine yourself enjoying the process of choosing what you're going to wear, noticing that it's easy to make the effort to shop for something new or try on clothes in your wardrobe a week or so before the occasion because you're feeling good about yourself. You maybe imagine yourself thinking in advance what you will eat and drink, and if you suspect there's going to be nothing available but the beige buffet, you might decide maybe to have a huge delicious brunch ahead of going and plan for something light and healthy to have when you get home that you can make very, very quickly in just a couple of minutes, because you know you'll probably be hungry by then and feeling a little bit tired. But of course you're not going to be hungry when you go there because you've had this delicious brunch. You're really thinking about what taking care of yourself throughout that day and helping yourself make that day easier looks like for you. And when you're doing that from the place of already being the weight that you want to be, it feels easy and natural. You've learned lots of tools and techniques and practices, and you've had lots of experience of practicing it. So that's just what you do now. That's just sort of how you go about doing things. And you might notice that you love how empowered and capable you feel doing that. So two things really that are significant here in that little scenario that I just painted. Number one is you're taking time to plan clothes that you feel good in. And the second is that you are really being intentional about how you want to eat, that again is in a way that feels good to you, that is all about taking care of you. There's no whiff of deprivation here at all. So two relatively simple things that are easy for you to imagine doing at the point where you're happy with your weight and loving your relationship with food. So now what I might want you to suggest you do is contrast that with how you might be thinking and feeling when you've either not got started with your weight or you're feeling stuck on your weight loss journey and you're not happy with the weight that you are and you don't have the relationship with food that you want. Maybe you feel out of control around food. Chances are that you're telling yourself, when it comes to the clothing to start off with, that you've got nothing that fits you or nothing that you feel good in. Maybe you feel some dread about going because you've gained weight. So what do? Chances are you don't do anything. Just the idea of going maybe brings up negative emotion, and what we do when we don't want to experience that negative emotion, which of course we don't want to, is we avoid thinking about it at all. We avoid thinking about this event that is coming up and looming on the horizon. We avoid thinking about what we're going to wear. maybe this was just me, until about an hour or so before we have to leave. And then we end up squeezing ourselves into something that feels uncomfortable and that we really don't like, and that doesn't, do the best for us. And so we feel pretty awful. And on top of that, we're probably a little bit annoyed and frustrated with ourselves for not figuring out what we're going to wear ahead of time, because we, of course, if we had done that, we recognise we would have felt better. So off we go to the social gathering, unhappy and not even giving any consideration to what we're going to eat. And so then the beige buffet appears and we kind of pretend that it takes us by surprise, and then we sort of kind of tell ourselves that we don't have a choice in what we're going to eat and we have to eat it because that's all that's available. And then we end up eating and feeling a bit blah, and then feeling even more frustrated with ourselves because it's another day where we've not got started or shown up having the relationship with food that we want, eating the way that we want to be. And then we sort of tell ourselves we'll never lose weight, that we're a failure, that everything's stacked against us. And that's how we just end up feeling totally stuck, because we can't see our way through and it feels awful. Now, the difference between the two scenarios that I just illustrated through the words that I've spoken is significant. And you might be thinking, but of course it's easy to show up how I portrayed showing up in the first scenario, the number one scenario, when you're feeling better because you've lost the weight. And yes, I think most of us here, me included, would agree that it is easier. But wouldn't it also be true that taking some time to plan what clothes you feel better in and how you're going to take care of yourself by eating better for you, even if that does involve a bit of planning, would also be easier than showing up to the party thinking awful thoughts and feeling terrible about yourself and how you're eating? We assume that not paying attention is easier, but it really isn't. Showing up without paying attention and planning and being intentional in everything that we think and feel and do isn't easy. We've just delegated responsibility of our feelings so that we think it's easier because we think we don't have a choice, so we're just in it. And choosing how we are from intentionally when we're using the future wisdom of ourselves can help us shortcut our way into having that wisdom of exactly what to do. So you choose the outfit that you feel great in at the weight that you are. And if nothing fits in your wardrobe, then yes, you do go out and you do buy something, and you don't tell yourself that you're not going to because you're going to lose weight. And almost like that feels a little bit like punishment, that you don't deserve to have clothes that fit you because you are a bigger weight than the weight you want to be. Everyone deserves to wear clothes that fit them. And if you feel it feels impossible to feel great in an outfit at the weight that you are, then you have got some work to do, some reconditioning of your mind and body, thought, image work. Get yourself on Instagram or similar and follow feeds of women who look like you, who do an amazing job of demonstrating body positivity and taking care of themselves and loving themselves, so that you can see women who not only look amazing, but demonstrate through what they share that they feel amazing in the size, the weight that they are, without needing to change that. And by the way, when I refer to body positivity, I'm talking about loving and appreciating your body no matter what, so that it's easier to take care of it. I'm not talking about body positivity in a way that is abandoning self-care to demonstrate to the masses that you have a right to be the size that you want. Yes, of course, you have the right to be whatever size you want, but that isn't necessarily taking care of you. You might think of that as toxic body positivity, which could look like taking body positivity to an extreme that can be detrimental to an individual's physical and mental well-being. So that's not what I'm talking about. Just to be clear, I'm talking about body positivity in a way that supports and helps you taking care of your body, because you recognize all the amazing things your body does for you, and you recognize that loving your body will make it easier and not more difficult for you to be a healthy weight and have the relationship with food that you want. Okay, so apart from the fact getting off there on a little bit of a body positivity tangent, just that was an example of how we can use future you thinking to help you get unstuck around a specific occasion. And of course, when you take the same approach as a daily practice, when you think about how you want to show up each and every day as future you would be showing up, you create the habit of doing that, and it becomes so much easier, and before you know it, your weight loss journey is also feeling so much easier. So there's a few things that you can do if you want to embrace that as a regular, if not daily practice. Okay, so visualization is the practice of creating mental images or scenarios in your mind's eye. It involves imagining and experiencing desired outcomes or situations as vividly as possible. And the more you engage your senses and emotions when you're visualizing things, the more you're noticing, observing yourself. Visualize that picture of yourself, future you, in color. What are you wearing? What, if you're outside, what does the sky look like? What can you hear? What can you smell? Really sort of like, visualize yourself, close your eyes and visualize yourself in that future moment and try to experience it as if you are really, truly there. The more immersive you make it and the more compelling it is, the more powerful it will be. Another sort of similar technique is future pacing, but there's a more structured approach to it. So future pacing is a technique used in personal development and goal setting that has you mentally projecting yourself into the future and imagining the desired outcome or experience. It involves creating a vivid mental image or visualization of yourself in your future scenario where you have achieved your goals or where you are experiencing a desired state. So it's really taking visualization to the next level. And to practice future pacing, you can follow specific steps to align your mindset, emotions, and your actions with your desired future. And it's actually something that we're going to be looking into more in the Lose Weight, Live Life Academy, probably next month in July. So that's something that I'm sort of working on at the moment to get set up for members of the Academy. So if you're in the Academy, you can look out for that future pacing focus topic call next month. So something else, before you can use the wisdom of your future self to help you on your weight loss journey, you need to know what it is that you want. So goal setting and getting really clear on why it is that you want what you want as a part of your goal setting, so your motivation really, is going to be really important. So setting clear, specific goals that reflect your future aspirations, and you may have them broken down into actionable steps and plans to achieve them. That is going to be really important as a part of doing this work. Something else that can help you on a practical level is reflective journaling. So daily journaling as a practice to help you reflect on your experiences, thoughts and emotions regularly so that you can gain a deeper understanding of yourself and your motivations. Daily journaling, reflective journaling will help you identify patterns, lessons learned or insights that can inform your present decision making and help you avoid repeating past mistakes. So this is a mix of using the wisdom of your past self in addition to using journaling to support you in your visualization and future pacing practices so that you can show up with the wisdom of your future self each and every day. Something else to bear in mind as a part of future self thinking is the concept of making decisions with a long-term perspective. So when faced with choices or challenges, when we're using future self thinking, we're considering the potential long-term consequences. We may be asking ourselves how our future self would approach the situation and what advice she might offer. And this helps you to think beyond immediate gratification or short-term gains and more easily make choices that align with your long-term visions. And as we frequently benefit from being reminded, something else that can help us is learning from our mistakes. So consider how future you embraces failure and setbacks as opportunities for growth. When she makes mistakes, how does she analyze what went wrong, decide what she would like to do differently next time? So I encourage you to really take what we're exploring here as a concept and do the work of sitting down with paper and pen and starting to practice applying these concepts to your life. Like anything, the more you embrace and practice doing these things, the easier they will become and the more they will help you. One more thing before I go. It's almost like a quick hack, if you like. When you start to do this work, if you're really struggling with doing the work of visualizing and thinking and feeling into your future self because you just can't imagine being the weight you want to be, then what you can do is you can borrow the wisdom from someone else. So if you find yourself in this situation, think about someone you know who has succeeded at their weight loss journey, or someone who you believe would succeed or will succeed, and explore with yourself what you think they're thinking, feeling and doing and not doing. Okay, so you can ask yourself, name the person who you're thinking of, and then ask yourself, what would insert person's name do here? What would insert person's names be thinking? How would this person be feeling? And then once you've done that and you've got those answers written down on paper, take a moment to notice that whilst you think you are getting those answers from someone else, they were within you all along and you just needed to access them in a different way. And that's something that I want you to know, okay? You and everyone listening to this podcast has within you everything that you need to be healthy, to lose weight, and have the relationship with food that you want. That's not to say you know everything that will help you. New research about different foods and weight gain and loss and working with your body, brain, mind, and emotions are of course being published daily. Of course you don't know everything, no one does, but you do have within you the capacity and the wherewithal to find out and figure out everything that you personally need to support you on your weight loss journey, whether you decide to figure that out on your own or to do it with help and support. Okay, that's it for today. I hope that you have an amazing week, and I look forward to being with you here on the podcast next week. All right, take care and have a good week, everyone.
If you enjoyed listening to this podcast and are ready to live a more intentional life, lose weight as a part of that journey, and create a relationship with food and yourself that you love, then I would be honoured to have you join the Lose Weight Live Life Academy membership and coach with me. The programme offers different levels of support to suit you, including self-paced learning, twice weekly calls, private coaching, an amazingly caring community, and lots more. Find out all the details about when and how you can join at www.thebestyou.coach/coaching.